Hey, what's up guys? John here. The migrant crisis in America is ramping up daily.
America's border crisis has reached a breaking point with more than 45,000 migrants attempting to cross into the country from Mexico in just the past 5 days.
Have you seen this video? I'm going to show it to you right now. This is unbelievable. And it goes to show you just what an average day looks like in America today. This is what the border is looking like. We're starting to see millions and millions and millions of people cross the border, many of which have no family, no relationships, no employment opportunities. They have nothing here except a debit card. Everything's free for the short term. But just imagine what this is going to look like when they start to look for work. They have no expenses, so they're going to be able to work for less. They're going to be competing with everyday Americans. And everyday Americans are in worse financial health than they've ever been before. Worse financial health in the great financial crisis. Interest rates on credit cards at that time were 12%, now they're 28%. Average car payments back then in great financial crisis era, they're $378 a month. Now they're $730 a month. You're starting to see Americans to the teeth in debt. And you're seeing all these young, hungry, middle-aged men, 20 to 35-year-old men that are ambitious, that have nothing to lose. They're all coming into this country. So what do I see? I'm seeing a different America. We look at what we saw just called 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago. People are coming here they were coming from the Philippines. They became nurses. They were coming from Mexico. They started opening up restaurants. They started opening up laundromats, mechanic shops. They came here with a focus to contribute value and to instill traditional American values into society, into their families. That's all getting changed. The traditional America, that strong political, patriotic belief for American traditions is all getting watered down. It's all going to go away. And what we're going to witness soon, it's going to be unbelievable. So if you're investing in real estate, if you are starting a business, growing a business, pay attention to these things. Because what we're likely going to start to see here is we're going to see a game of combating inequality in the next year or so, one in which is going to instill more universal basic income pilot programs, more ways in which we can make the world a quote-unquote fair and just place. And as this begins to happen, the middle class, they're the #1 target. I'm going to break it down for you in this video. Hit the like button. YouTube will share the content, educate other people about what's going on. And if you want to fix your credit, we'd love to help you. My company, greatcreditfast.com. That's greatcreditfast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to greatcreditfast.com. Don't let one or a few items get in the way of a bright future. And as you can see in America, we're stepping into a hell of a lot of change. And if you're not getting ready for it, you're not positioning yourself in the best possible light, this is going to be a big problem because we're going to start seeing it being harder to get loans. We're going to start seeing banks tighten up. We're going to start seeing the world get much, much harder. So you want to position yourself for that. I mean, here's a good example of this. This just came out literally 5 hours ago. 5 hours ago, this article came out. U.S. will allow nearly 500,000 Venezuelan migrants to work illegally. Now, we're in a very interesting period because in 2021 and 2022, what ultimately happened? There was a big push for great resignation, saying employees deserve more. They deserve to make more money. But when you have a situation where there's millions of people in this country that are already here or that will be coming here, and they're coming from a place of no expenses, no student loans, they're coming from a place to where they can basically come here and start at zero, they get money, they're going to be able to work for a lot less, right? They're going to be working under the table. They might work at a coffee shop for $8, $10 an hour, whereas an American might have to work for $15, $18, $20 an hour. We're going to start seeing a lot of people get priced out of their jobs. We're going to start seeing a lot of mechanic shops and a lot of construction companies start to hire a lot of these people because they can save dramatically on costs and expenses. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to make money on this. But it's not going to be the everyday American, that's for sure. So the Biden administration said late Wednesday that it would allow hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans already in the United States to live and work legally in the countries for 18 months. The decision followed intense advocacy by New York Democrats, including Kathy Hochul and Eric Adams' party in Congress. It will affect about 472,000 Venezuelans who arrived in the country before July 31st, temporarily protecting them from removal and waiving a months-long waiting period for them to seek employment authorization. In an unusual break from the president of the party, the New York Democrats had argued that the city's social safety net would tear under the weight of more than 110,000 recently arrived migrants unless they were allowed to work and support themselves more quickly. So you're seeing other cities like Los Angeles now as a sanctuary city. Now there's small bus loads going to Los Angeles, but I bet just by looking at the papers of what's going on in California, they're going to start to see a lot more people start to head into California. I mean, they have a goal of bringing forward 2.5 million housing units from now for the next 6 years. Well, 6 years and 4 months from now until 2030. So you're going to start to see they need to bring 2.5 million housing units. They need to bring 80,000 just in San Francisco, 800,000 housing units. Look this up, 800,000 housing units in just downtown LA. So they're going to start to really, really build. And why? Well, because there's going to be a lot more people in California. There's going to be a lot more people moving to California where social welfare programs are exploding. So we're going to start to see California and New York be these two states that are going to start to really see a massive influx. Now, the Homeland Security Secretary said that they made a decision because conditions in Venezuela prevent their safe return, but stressed that migrants who had entered the country since August were not protected and would be removed. They are found out to have a legal basis to stay. Right? In a joint statement, Chuck Schumer, Representative Hakeem Jeffries in New York, a top Democrat in the Senate House, said that Homeland Security Department had estimated that roughly 500,000 migrants currently living in New York are Venezuelans that would be affected by the decisions. Right? Well, look at this. So New York, they're spending $40,000 per migrant. $40,000 per migrant. It's such a big number. Roughly 18,000 people. 18,000 people every single day. So to put this in a context, a large commercial football stadium fits about 75,000 people, right? 75,000 people. So every week you're getting a football stadium and a half. Football stadium and a half that's going to be coming to America. That's just what they're reporting. So you know that number is likely inflated. It might be 2x or 3x that number, who knows? But you're getting the idea. Where are these people going to go? They're going to go to big cities. That's where they're going to go. They're going to go there's employment opportunities. They're going to go where they can easily move around. They're going to go where there's going to be universal basic income, and there's going to be stipends and handouts and subsidies and quote unquote tenant protections and all these different things. That's where they're going to start to head. But there's been discussions that this is how much they're making per month, but they're debunking it, saying no, this isn't the number. They're getting something, right? They're getting a debit card. They have access to money, hopefully, because if they don't, they're going to take it. They're going to break in people's houses and they're going to do whatever they have to do to survive. I'm not saying anything specific about these people, but I'm just simply saying if you turn on National Geographic and you put a lion out in the middle of the Sahara, what's ultimately going to happen? Right? They're going to hunt. They're going to survive. They're going to do whatever they have to survive. And the same thing would happen here in America. If you were picked up and you were put somewhere else and you had no way to work, survive, and make money, you would do what you have to do, right? Well, think about it this way. You got 500,000 people. Most of them are 20, 30-year-old men, right? What are they going to do? Any means necessary. That's what I think that they would do if they didn't have the debit card. But they do have debit cards, because if you're looking here, their city council approves $51 million for migrant housing. So you're starting to see this. And over here, California is talking about spending $44,000 per tent. So you think about how much of an opportunity this is for these states. They're billing taxpayers $44,000 for this $20, maybe I'll give them benefit of the doubt, $200 to $300 tent that they're getting from Home Depot, right? They're charging $44,000. If this is true, I mean, the business to be in would be the tent business, because you could invest $1,000 and pull out $200,000, right? That's essentially what's happening. They're for 4 tents or 5 tents, probably $1,000 worth of expense, and they're selling this to the general taxpayer for $200,000, right? So this is what's going to continue to happen, I believe, all over the place. It's just unbelievable how this is it's happening so quick and so fast. And when they say that they are going to combat inequality, what's actually happening is the people on the front line of this combating inequality. It's not the wealthy, the wealthy guy at the top that the media depicts as being the number one problem, that we're going to tax them. They're not going to be the ones that suffer. The people that are going to suffer are going to be the middle class. That's who's going to suffer, because they're going to inflate the currency to offset some of these expenses. They are going to start to loosen landlord-tenant laws in a lot of these cities to prevent people from being evicted because of the homelessness crisis. They're going to start to do all of these different things. But the rich and the really elite, they're going to love this. This is a perfect thing for them, because they are going to be able to continue to stockpile their cash and they're going to start acquiring all the assets in which the middle class will be forced to sell as the economy turns and as we start to see, people having no other choice but to sell. It's a crazy time. It's a crazy time. I've said it for a while that 2020 was the first inning. It's only going to get crazier after. It's only going to get crazier. 2021, 2022, it's just going to continue to get crazier and crazier. One crazy chain of events and turn of events after the next. And that's what we've seen. Just look at the last 6 months. Every other week, there's some breaking story. Well, we're now normalized to the insanity. We're normalized to all the chaos. So 2024 and 2025, I'm just telling you, it's going to get way worse than anything we've ever seen before. Way worse. So you want to prepare yourself. You want to put yourself in a really, really strong position. The next couple of years, if you're in the middle class right now, the next couple of years to escape will be then, right? I think we have a 2-year, maybe 3-year window because we're going to start to see inflation continue to run rampant as oil prices continue to rise. We're going to see taxes go up. We're going to see inflation get worse, and we're going to see a lot more uncertainty. So put yourself in a really, really strong position financially. If you have high interest credit card debt, right now is an incredible time to, look at some of these 0% APR balance transfer credit cards. Many of these are, 1 year, 2 years, 0% interest. I'm not saying to take one of these cards out and be irresponsible, but if you have high interest credit card debt, it's a great time in which you can transfer that debt to 0% APR and to get on a strict paydown schedule to get debt free. You are going to need a credit score generally, 730 or above. If you need help fixing your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, greatcreditfast.com. But just do whatever you got to do. Put yourself in a really, really strong position. There's going to be investing opportunities in the coming year or so, I would imagine, some really, really big opportunities. So just put yourself in that position. You want to do whatever you can possibly do to isolate yourself as much as possible from the chaos. You're not going to be able to do something that's going to, fully take you away from everything, but just put yourself in a position to where you have options. Money equals options. Options is what's generally best. It puts you in a situation where you can pivot and move in the chaos that we call this new normal. Drop your comments below, hit the like button, Abby on IG. And again, if you want to fix your credit, we'd love to help you. GreatCreditFast.com. Catch you in the next video.